Yo, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Big Mike in the building. Doing it from a different place tonight, man. Just chilling outside. Here to talk about this this Nolan Wells case out of Ocean Springs, Mississippi. And that's close to home, man. That hits close to home. Ocean Springs about 30 minutes from Mobile. I done fucked off in Ocean Springs plenty of times, man. Nice little downtown area, man. That whole little Gulf Coast, Mississippi area, Biloxi. I remember when Biloxi wasn't anything but Keesler Air Force Base and the VA hospital. And now Biloxi is Biloxi. You got casinos. I remember when they first put the casinos in. They used to call it the boat. Our parents used to say, we going to the boat. You remember that? I got my Mob Town shirt on tonight. So, you know, this is what it is. And the reason I wore this is because, the reason I wore the whole get up is because us from the Gulf Coast, we do this for real. And I want to talk about a few things tonight. I really want to talk about the case of Nolan in Mississippi and Horn Island over there in Ocean Springs, Biloxi area. I want to talk about that situation. And I want to talk about friends. And I want to talk about race. And a few different things, man. But I'm gonna take it slow tonight. I'm chilling. I got my lights outside. I got my fan going. Let me know if you can hear me in the comments. If you can hear me, let me know. If you're having issues hearing me, let me know so I can cut the fan off. You just see me sweat if I have to cut this fan off. I'll just say that. But I do have to say what I have to say. Give me 1 second. I am gonna cut it down though. Give me one moment. All right. Yeah, it doesn't have to be on all the way full blast right now. It's kind of comfortable outside. How y'all doing with that heat wave, man? I hope the temperature broke in the northwestern places where y'all are. But I want to talk about, I guess the best place to start is friends and race. So I was raised in Mobile, Alabama, and it's an integrated society down there. In Mobile, growing up, it was cool, man. The white kids were cool. Black kids were cool. Sometimes you have problems with white kids. Sometimes you have problems with black kids. That's just the way life was back in the day. I've had a few racial instances in my childhood. And, times when I was cornered and, racially harassed or, discriminated against. Can't go in this friend's house, things like that. We be playing outside with kids and mom might come out with orange juices for everybody and she ain't got one for you. So I've been in that situation before growing up, but the kids, for the most part, were cool. My white friends, that are my real friends, they're not gonna mind me doing this because we talk about these type of things all the time. So shout out to them. I do have some white brothers in this world, a white brother in particular in this world, and I got some pretty close white friends in this world. So it's not all about race with me. I'm not a racist person. But what you will find, and my friends will tell you, that no, Mike is not going on a camping trip with you. You can go on a camping trip with me and my folks, because ain't nothing gonna happen to you on that camping trip. But I'm not going on a camping trip with you. I'm not going on a hunting trip with you. I'm not going on a fishing trip out in a boat in the middle of the Gulf or the ocean with you. I'm not gonna be in any remote areas. And it's not necessarily you. But normally when these situations come up, it's groups of people. So while I may know you, I don't necessarily know your homeboy over here. I don't know who you with. I don't know how their mind works. I don't know how they feel about me or how they feel about black people if they don't know me. I've been in all types of situations where people will act out racially. And a lot of times it's through microaggressions, and I posted about it earlier, but me and my brother, we went out to the Blue Flame. And everybody who knows and familiar with Atlanta, you know about the Blue Flame. You know where the Blue Flame is. This in the hood. It's in the hood. So we walk into the spot, man. You know, and it's just one of those Atlanta staples that you have to visit when you come here. That's part of your Atlanta welcome package. Hit the Blue Flame or Magic City or one of the many adult clubs around here, you know, for adult entertainment, right? So we went to the Blue Flame. Just wanted to show him what that culture was like. And I hope he don't mind me, you know, saying this. But when we were finished, we walked out. I mean, we only stayed for like an hour. Then we went and got something to eat. And when we were riding down to Midtown to get something to eat, I asked him, I said, hey, man, I said, did anybody say anything negative to you while you were in there? Did anybody say anything have a crossword to say to you while you were in there? He's like, nah, man, everybody was cool. I said, now put the shoe on the other foot. If that was me and I was the only black person in a place that you took me to, how would it have turned out? He said, somebody definitely would have said something to you. So with that being said, we're not stupid people. When we're online talking about what we think and we want answers and the story that we're getting isn't making sense to us, we're going to keep pushing harder because we've seen this many times before. We've seen it so many times before. But one thing about it, and that I trust, and this is the most important part about friendship, is trust. I don't care how drunk I get out on the island. I don't care what girl I want to go chase. I'm married, so I'm not chasing any girls on islands. This is just a hypothetical. But I don't care what girl I want to chase. My brother is not getting ready to leave that island without me. He's not getting ready to leave the island without me, period. Not happening. And that's the questions, and that's the type of friends that we are as black people. We're not going to leave without you. If 5 of us go out, 5 of us are coming back in. If one of us gets killed while we're out, we're coming back with his body. You know, things do happen. But we're not leaving you out there. You're not going to die by yourself. Your mom's going to know exactly what happened once we get back to shore. We're not leaving and we don't have any closure on where our partner is. That's just not happening. So, at least right now, we have different definitions of what friendship is like. And I know these social media clowns and trolls don't represent the entire white community. Everybody, people that know me. You know me. So, you know what time it is for me. I'm going to keep it 100 with you. I think something happened. I can't put my finger on what. I'm not saying that it's the young men that did it. You know, I don't know. But something did happen. Because there was a setup for something to happen. And you can go through all the hypotheticals. You can come up with any situation you want to come up with about it. But anytime you're the singular black person or singular black male, because women tend to get passes. Black women tend to get passes in places. But anytime you're the singular black male, you are going to gain the attention of somebody white. If you're in a place with 100 white people, 3 of them going to say something to you fucked up. And that's just the truth of the matter. 3 of them going to say something to you fucked up. But history has shown us that, yeah, 3 of them may really have the problem. And once 3 of them get started on you, then these people tend to have, and I hate to say these people, but I'm trying to distinguish, right? These people tend to have a low threshold for jumping in on group violence. And so what I mean by threshold is this. Let's take a riot, for instance, right? Take a situation where people are out rioting and you're just a bystander. And this is how you measure your threshold. So one person in front of you picks up a rock and throws it through a store window and they go into the store. Then one more person goes into the store. Another person goes into the store. You're watching all these people go into the store. Your threshold is how many people do you have to watch go into that store before you decide to go into the store. Salute to you, Rudy. How many people do you have to watch go into that store before you decide to go into that store? And that's what I mean, threshold. So we have all types of historical evidence. We have all types of photos because they love to take photos. We got thousands of photos that we can refer to of black people being lynched. And you got literally 200 or 300, maybe even 1,000 in some situation, white people standing around posing with the body. So, to me, that looks like you got people that have a low threshold for group violence. You see what I mean? So when you see all of these images and you see all of these pictures, what are we supposed to think when we're getting vague answers when we ask what happened to our brother out there in Mississippi, right? When we getting vague answers, when we getting timelines that don't match up, when the math ain't mathing, what are we supposed to ask? What are we supposed to do? Are we supposed to pull up? I mean, we're on social media trying to get information. We're trying to exchange information about it because we actually care. So, I don't know if y'all remember, Nina Simone had this song. Y'all remember, y'all like Nina Simone? I love Nina Simone stuff, some of her older stuff. But she had a song, and the song went something like this. Alabama got me so upset. Tennessee made me lose my breath. But everybody knows about Mississippi. God damn. Check that song out. It's called Mississippi Goddamn by Nina Simone. And it was made during the time of the Mississippi burning and, you know, the 60s when things were really, really hot. Right before the civil rights, the first civil rights breakthrough, right? I say at least the first in this century. So, but yeah, check that song out. And I may see if I can't post it to this video, you know, in the back room. But we don't trust Mississippi, period. We don't trust Mississippi, period. Mississippi has earned their reputation with black folks. I remember going to Mississippi back in the day, and you know, people used to spray paint on the bridge. That's before they became a touristy place. But I remember as soon as you crossed through over in the Pascagoula, there was a bridge, an overpass, and it was a big black, no niggers allowed. And you know that shit stayed up there for years and years and years. Put a thumbs up in the chat if you remember that sign on that overpass going into Mississippi when you first got into Mississippi. Moss Point area. Not Pascagoula, but like Moss Point area. As soon as you cross over the state line, Gaucher, Van Cleve, them areas, right? It was somewhere in that area. But we don't trust Mississippi, period. We don't trust Mississippi State. We don't trust Mississippi State authorities. We don't trust Mississippi judges. We don't trust Mississippi law enforcement. We don't trust Mississippi doctors, lawyers, none of that. And Mississippi has earned its reputation. There's a lot of brothers and sisters in Mississippi. We still don't trust it. We love y'all, but we don't trust it. I got some good partners from Mississippi. And Mississippi is a good place. But your administrative apparatus in Mississippi has been corrupt for a long time. It has been corrupt on the lines of race. And we know this. We know this. So a lot of you on Facebook, on social media, period, gaslighting, talking about the boy drowned. It's been a dude on here. He been talking about the boy drowned since this morning. I know at least. And I can't remember his name. Clay something or another. Clay cocksucker, whatever. Talking about the boy drowned. So these people are trying to create a narrative. They're trying to create a narrative online right now that's going to pick up steam. Nobody's read any kind of medical reports. Nobody's read any kind of autopsies. They just automatically know that this is a drowning. In which that leads me to my next. I don't believe it. First of all, I don't believe it. But that leads me to my next point. Stop sitting up saying or using this opportunity to get off your negative stereotype tropes about black folks. And some of my white cool friends been doing this shit too. I got my eye on you. I got my eye on you. Talking about black folks can't swim, this and that. A lot of black people that grew up on the Gulf Coast, you can fucking swim. We grew up in the water. We grew up on Mobile Coast. Mobile, Fairhope, Daphne, Pensacola, Biloxi, Goshen, whatever. New Orleans, all the way down to New Orleans, from fucking Jacksonville to New Orleans, whatever. So a lot of people do know how to swim. But people that don't know how to swim are not getting ready to go on a boat 10 miles out in the middle of the ocean with no life vest on. And they're probably not going with people they don't trust. Absolutely, Rhonda. Something happened. That's what I'm saying. We know something happened. It's in my soul that something happened. And I hope that it's nothing. I really hope that I'm wrong. But it's just a certain type of intuition. You recognize certain types of predators, and you recognize certain type of predatory behavior and predatory narratives. And a lot of you are out here on social media spreading it. And that's why we don't like y'all, man. You know, y'all stay in our business. Y'all stay in our conversations. Nobody's put anything out, with the exception of a few. Like I said, those who know and who are with us are with us. And those who are with us are loud. They're not quiet. They're loud. They're letting it be known. But it's so many of you jumping out here to defend your race. Because once again, just like my last video that I put out on Facebook where I was talking, it's all about this proxy race war. And some of your explanations and some of your fake news, it's actually just lies. It's lies. Isn't helping, man. It's not helping. And it's more offensive than you really think. I've been into it with a couple of people on here. I had a lady tell me today, when I brought up the fact that we got thousands and thousands of examples, you know, at least 4,000, 3,900, I believe is the official number of lynchings. You can check me out on that occurred in the United States. But there's thousands of these things happen. You know, dozens, if not hundreds, of race massacres happen in this country as well. Very well documented stuff. So when I brought that up, this Neanderthal, this cave bitch, tried to tell me, you don't know anybody personally who's been lynched. So in an attempt to win, you're just going to go there. So, you know, I thought about it. I really wanted to, like, cuss her out, block her and all of that. But what I did was this. I said, you didn't know anybody personally who fought in the American Revolution, did you? But I guarantee your ass had some raisin-infested potato salad last Saturday. I need my gunshot on that. Pew, pew. Man, Flip, what's up? Speaking of it, that's my partner. My partner is white. When we get together, no, we don't sit around and talk about race. We ain't got together in a while. But shout out to you, Flip. We need to do our Super Bowl thing this year. It's just Super Bowl's been bad the last few years. I ain't got nobody up here that I go watch the Super Bowl with. So it's just become another day for me. But I would love to get together with you and do our Super Bowl thing again and get those wings. But we're getting into a serious time, man. We're getting into a serious time. Everything is becoming a racial battle. Everything is racial tension. And I got a little quick thing I want to talk to you guys about, because a lot of people are blaming the kids' parents. But think about Nolan. He's 18 years old. I got a son who's 22. So, you know, we're in the same age bracket. his parents and us. But there was a survey taken back in 1998 of 18-year-olds, black 18-year-olds, and white 18-year-olds, people just graduating high school. And it was talking about race and racism in the United States. This was in 1998. Salute to you, Flip. This was in 1998. I came out of high school in 1996. So, and I probably would have answered these questions the same way. So I'll just go ahead and put that out front. But they asked about racism and how many kids felt like race mattered in America anymore. And this was 1998. And a lot of kids answered that no, race didn't matter to them. They didn't feel any kind of racial pressure, any kind of racial tension at that point in time going into college. And I thought about it. That's our age group. So the resurgence of this overt racism from people we've been integrating with for the last, 60 years, it is a shocker, especially to a lot of Generation Xers, because Generation Xers, especially those who came at the tail end, the Zennials, coming out of high school, going into college in the 96 to 2000 range. We going into college and coming out of college. We didn't quite grasp it. I think the racial incidents that we experienced growing up in Alabama, of course, you're going to experience them, but we always said that those were isolated incidents. Your friend's mom, your so-called friends, mom telling you can't come in the house. Everybody else come in the house and cool off in the summer. You got to wait outside. They might as well have gave you the water hydrant to drink out of. And, some kids went for that. I didn't. I take my ass home. But I have been in situations where grown people did get at us on some racial type of stuff when we were little kids. It would be grown people with weapons and sticks and shit. Literally had that happen. So I wasn't blind to racism. Of course, I've been called a nigga by, a lot of kids. But I wasn't blind to racism. I think I was blind to the dangers of racism up until those events happened to me. But once those events happened to me, the blinders were off. But I still probably would have answered that question in 1998 the same way, because to me, I had compartmentalized those as isolated incidents because we were making progress as a people. So I wouldn't be so quick to blame the parents of this young man for letting him hang out with all white people. Rudy Pugh. My dad knew Michael Donald. In fact, I lived less than 2 miles away from where he was murdered. Yeah, he was murdered on Herndon Avenue. That was the next street from where my granddad stayed. Said, yeah. You know what I mean? So for the lady to ask me that question like I was going to say, no, I didn't say anything. I really just, kind of skated her on it, because she needs to feel foolish for even asking that. Because, first of all, how you going to know somebody personally who got lynched? The whole question doesn't make sense. If they got lynched, they're no longer with us. So how do you know them personally? Everybody that got lynched, you're going to be hearing of. You see what I'm saying? We know they're not doing it overtly anymore, but that don't mean that people aren't sneaking off and killing black kids. Look at Rick Chow, Cyrus Carmack Belton, Trayvon Martin, Mike Brown. You can go on and on. Eric Garner, Jordan Neely. You think these aren't lynchings? Just because it's not a whole group of people around actually looking at it? Or is it a whole group of people around looking at it and looking at the video over and over again, making memes, circulating memes on social media, depicting dead black people, dead black children? This is disgusting. It's disgusting. I'm tired of seeing it. And I really want to send a message out to my people, my white people that know some of these people. Y'all need to start like ostracizing these folks. Y'all need to delineate yourselves from these people. And I know it's hard because some of these people are family. Some of these people are old friends, family friends. But y'all really need to delineate from these people. Because they're making America a horrible place. They're giving America a horrible reputation. Worldwide. It's not just in America. It's a horrible reputation worldwide. And they're itching to throw you guys in the mix of a battle that I don't think they even understand. I think people have been so busy, especially the racists, have been so busy underestimating black people and calling us monkeys and this and that. You have no intelligence on us. You're going off of military might. You're thinking about American military might having your back. But I want to ask you a question. It has nothing to do with fighting us, but name one time you had to fight without us. That's the kicker. But nobody's out thinking about this. Everybody's itching. Everybody itching. Keyboard warriors. Freaking keyboard warriors. I'm a fan of the old typewriter myself. If you know, you know. I might have to dust off the Smith Corona, considering what's going on. So, when you're on here and you see the big Mike drops facts, talking about, I'm racist, I'm a race baiter. If you're on my post, just know I caught you. The bait worked. Absolutely, Rudy. The world knows what America looks like with its makeup off. And it ain't pretty. And to galvanize behind such a small man as Donald Trump, as y'all have, this dude is a tiny guy. He's a small guy. I don't know what's wrong with him mentally, but he's not all the way there. He's not somebody I would galvanize behind. Your ideology's antiquated, it's dead. You lost the Civil War, which was a slave revolt. You lost the Civil War. You're going to lose this war. Because the majority of Americans, they're not really with it. We're dealing with high prices, with everything, unemployment. And I got my reasons for thinking that's why that's going on. But, you know, that's a different life. But most people just want to feed their families and take care of their priorities and go home, man. Make it home safe. Which is becoming harder and harder. So, I'm waiting on answers in this Nolan case. I'm glad Ben Crump is on the case. And I never thought I would say that. You know, I've been kind of, I'm not anti-Ben Crump, but I feel like Ben Crump shows up when it's time to make the family apologize or make the family forgive the offender and get a paycheck. But this time I think it's different. I think he's showing up to really get answers and put his investigators on it. And at the end of the day, if Nolan drowned, Nolan just drowned. Nolan should have had better friends and should have been around better people looking out for him. And it's just a coincidence that he's the only black person there, from what I saw, and the only person that drowned at Horn Island on July 4th. The conspiracy, tinfoil hat side of me, something deeper than that. Think about the factors, and I'll leave off on this. America's 250th birthday. 4th of July, 1776 movement. Think about all of this stuff that's been going on. MAGA, white, black, race. Elon Musk, all of that, right? Think about that. America's 250th birthday. I ain't gonna say that. All I'll say is this. Check out and Google the altar that was built at the foot of Stone Mountain, that was built at the base of Stone Mountain. And think about what an altar represents. Leave it in the comments if you decide to go any further, but look up the altar at the base of Stone Mountain. White supremacy is a religion, man. Thank you, Rudy. A lynching on America's 250th birthday is not out of the realm of possibility. In Mississippi, of all places. So if nothing else, this should be a reckoning for Mississippi. Y'all got to get y'all a reputation straight. Because right now, your reputation is shit. But I think that, yeah, white supremacy is a religion. And I think that the way the religion survives is by proving that it never lived, right? What they say, the greatest trick the devil played on the earth is convincing man that he didn't exist, right? I think that's what it is. It's deeper than just, it's sick, man. It's sick. If you dig into it, it's sick. And those who subscribe to it, not saying those who benefit off of it, because a lot of white people benefit off of it, but they don't necessarily believe in it or subscribe to it. But that's what I mean. You have to delineate yourself and go against it. But think about these situations that we've seen. It was a Jamaican guy in Pennsylvania. He went on a hunting trip with all white people, a camping trip over the weekend. He winds up shot. He's the only person dead at the end of the weekend. And they say he took drugs by himself and started threatening to kill everybody. Nolan, he had a beer. Who bought the fucking beer? If they 18-year-olds and they parents judges and fucking doctors. You feel me? Who bought the beer? A sister up in North Georgia here goes to a sleepover at a friend's house. These are 40-year-old women. Goes to a sleepover. All white people. Next morning, she's dead off the balcony, face down in the flower bed. She got drunk and fell off the balcony. Emmett Till, according to them in Mississippi, went swimming with a cotton gin fan tied around his neck. Carmelo Anthony, he walked into a tent to get out of the rain. Cyrus Carmack Belton, he shouldn't have been in there trying to steal. And we know that the boy didn't steal nothing. Oh, but he had a gun that he didn't pull in the store. Trayvon Martin, he shouldn't have fought George Zimmerman. Eric Garner, he shouldn't have resisted arrest. Jordan Neely, I mean, we can just go on and on and on and on and on. You know, I'm seeing people online saying that white people are saying that they're going to start telling their children that they can't have black friends. And I'm like, y'all been telling y'all children that shit since 1866. Since slavery was over, y'all couldn't have black friends no more. And a lot of kids fought to have black friends. And shout out to y'all. Against a lot of your parents' wishes. Jason Henderson, what's happening, partner? What's going on, bro? So, to say that, okay, we're going to stop our kids from having black friends, this is what a lot of people wanted to do, and this has been in practice a long time in every community. Not just white people. It's been Hispanics, it's been Asians, it's been Italians, Irish, it's been everybody, you know, even black immigrants, right? So we're used to it. We're cool. But you gotta come to grips with your history. And you gotta understand why people are looking at you like this and why people are saying these things to you. It's not the time to double down. It's not the time to double down on the bullshit. I'm here for you too, Jay. That's all I really got for tonight. I'm waiting on answers. Rest in peace to young Nolan Wells. Like I said, it hits home. I'm from the Gulf Coast. It hits home. I want to know what happened. But I don't believe he drowned. Not on his own. Something happened. And I'm going to tell you why I think that right before I go. The judge, one of the kids' mothers, a stepmother, I think it's a stepmother, she's a judge. And she came out with a statement today. And so the story has been that nobody saw Nolan since 3 p.m. that day. He disappeared at 3 p.m. That's the last time anybody from his boat saw him. All right? Their boat, according to the mother, starts taking on water. And they had to leave at 4:30 p.m. That's strange to me. First of all, the boat having to take on water and needing a part, she did mention that. They need some kind of part or something for the boat. Okay, so where's the boat right now? If the boat's in the shop, can the boat be searched and, you know, forensics done on the boat? You know what I'm saying? So that was number one that struck me. But him last being seen at 3 p.m. and them leaving at 4:30 p.m. with his phone in tow and everything else, that tells me something, because nobody went to look for him and say, hey, bro, we leaving. It was a lot of boats at that island that day. He didn't just disappear and drown in front of all those people. Didn't happen. But we'll wait for the facts to come out on the case. But I believe the facts are going to be presented by Benjamin Crump and his investigators. I don't trust Mississippi worth a fuck. And Mississippi should know why we don't trust them worth a fuck. Y'all got a long history of this. A long history of subverting justice. I don't even really feel like Mississippi should be a legitimate state, to be honest. That's how strong I feel about it. Mississippi is the Pritchard of the fucking United States. Shouldn't be a municipality, shouldn't be a state, because they've mismanaged and miscarried justice for so fucking long. Excuse my French. Jason says, ever notice that most white supremacy folks aren't supreme to anyone? No. First of all, the definition of supreme, that's not even supreme behavior. Supreme mean you up here, you above all of that. It's pathetic. that's all I got tonight, man. I'm getting a little emotional. Mississippi is the most corrupt state in the union. Yes, it is. They got the worst school system. Mississippi ranks at the bottom, damn near everything. And this ain't no diss to Mississippi people, my folks from Mississippi. Not a diss. My grandfather was from Mississippi. Greene County, Mississippi. But they've mismanaged and they've and underrepresented. It's all types of malfeasance. It's all type of malfeasance. They need to take one half of that motherfucker and make it Alabama, and the other half of that motherfucker and make it Arkansas and Louisiana. As far as I'm concerned. So, man, look, man, I appreciate y'all for joining. Man, Jason, good to see you, brother. Rudy, appreciate you. Flip, good to definitely see you, Flip. We got to get together for next Super Bowl, man. I hope somebody in there. You need to come up here, man. Maybe we can actually go to one. It should be in Atlanta here soon. But I'm going to sit out here and keep reflecting, man. Smoke me a square. And just relax, man. Y'all relax. We're going to get the answers. We're going to get the facts. God is not asleep. Just know that. 100.